Hi everyone, I am Eeswaran. I welcome you to the presentation, Current and Future Challenges and Opportunities for Livestock Farming in West Africa. This is a case study of Senegal. This research was conducted as a part of the project Digital Geospatial Farming Systems Tools Consortium when I was at Michigan State University. I am currently a lecturer at Eastern University, Sri Lanka. With that brief introduction, let me stop my video and share the presentation with you. Okay, so as you see, this collaborative project between Michigan State University and the Feed the Future Innovation Lab at Kansas State University. Here we have our collaborators, and this project was funded by USAID Feed the Future program. So here in this picture, you see the greater region of West Africa. This region has a total population of 400 million, which is projected to double by 2050. This is a huge challenge for food and nutritional security in the region. If we look the importance of livestock farming in West Africa, this involves around 60 million people, and share of livestock to agriculture GDP is around 44%. It could reach up to 50% if we value the labor and manure. This system is dominated by cattle, sheep, goats, and camels. Um, Moreover, there are smaller proportions of pigs, poultry, birds, camelid, horses, and donkeys also available in this system. Let's have a look at the agroclimatology of West Africa. Um, The agroclimatology of West Africa can be categorized into two different categories. One is based on the global aridity index, and the second one based on the weather pattern and vegetation. Based on the global aridity index, we have five distinct regions. From the north to south, we have hypearid, arid, semi-arid, subhumid, and humid regions. And then these agroclimatological regions were based on the global aridity index. Second category is based on the weather pattern and vegetation. Based on this particular classification, we have four zones. First one is the Saharan zone that represents the desert region. And then second one is the Sahelian zone, which represents the arid region. And the Sudanian zone represents the semi-arid zone. And the Guinean zone represents a subhumid or humid region. So if you look the livestock farming characteristics in these ecological or agroclimatical regions, in the Sahelian and Sudanian zones, we will have the pasture and water resources are scarce, dominated by the pastoral system. However, the quality of pasture is higher than the subhumid or humid zone. If you look the Guinean zone, pasture and crop production is less risky and comparatively productive. The crop duration is normally 122 to 180 days. Therefore, the mixed crop livestock farming is predominantly exist in the south and southeastern Senegal. Let's have a look at the livestock farming systems, different livestock farming systems in West Africa. So this is classified based on the management and the availability of feed and water resources. Based on this classification, we have three major systems in West Africa. One is pastoral system, second one is agro-pastoral system, the third one is off-land system. If you look the pastoral system, this is primarily in the arid and semi-arid zones, dominated by livestock production system. This is a dominant livestock production system in West Africa, based on the large number of animals. And then livestock production system entirely depends on the natural pasture, shrubs, and animal grazed in uncultivated lands. This is extensive management of animals. And also involves deliberately moving herds to exploit spatio-temporally variable forage, fodder, and water resources. We should understand that pastoralism is argued as the most appropriate animal production system in the dryland agriculture. If you look the agropastoral system, this is a mixed farming system which involves integration of crops and animals. Very common in subhumid and savanna zones of West Africa. Farmers are rearing animals for manure traction and as a cash reserve. If you look the primary feed resources for livestock in this system, the animals graze in uncultivated lands, crop residues from cultivated lands, fodder crops, agriculture or agro-industrial byproducts, for some extent of purchased feed also provided as feed resource for this particular system. If you look the offline system, this is a landless system. Animals are managed under stall feeding especially in the urban and peri-urban settings. Livestock feed with cultivated fodder, concentrates, cereals, straw, hay, unrefined agro-industrial byproducts, and cut and carry fodders with the aim of fattening and milking, right? And intensive, the management is intensive to semi-intensive, which is important for food and nutritional security and income diversification, especially among the urban residents. Poultry, pigs, and small ruminants are the prominent components of the offline system. Let's get into the livestock farming in Senegal, right? Because our focus country is Senegal in this project. In this figure, we have in the y-axis number of animals. We have two y-axis. In one, we have the number of live animals, and the secondary y-axis, I have the number of live birds, just to represent the chicken. And then the x-axis, we have the years from 2010 to 2019, right? So according to this figure, we can see there's an increasing trend in the population of chicken and small ruminants such as sheep and goat. But cattle and swine, not much significant growth we can see, right? So if you look the importance of livestock farming for Senegal, so livelihood, this is a livelihood sector of 60% of Senegal's population and 30% contribution to the agriculture GDP of the country. So in this map, I present the land use of Senegal. In the north, we usually have the pastoral system, and the south and east, we have the agro-pastoral system. And near to the capital, Dhaka, we have the off-land system, right? Near to the urban and peri-urban areas, right? And then if you look the pastoral system in Senegal, transhuman pastoralism is mainly within the country, and the herders move to south in search of pasture and water because of the low rainfall during the 2 months. And this movement is called as latitudinal transhumance, which involves more than 100 routes with the maximum radius of annual travel distance of 5 to 200 kilometers, right? In 2006, pastoral system produced 24% of beef, 11% of goat meat, and 13% of sheep meats in terms of Senegal's total national production, which shows the significance of this pastoral system in Senegal. If you look at the agro-pastoral system in Senegal, there are two types of agro-pastoral systems we can find in the country. First one is pearl millet groundnut livestock system, especially in the northern region. The second system is rice groundnut livestock system. We can find this system in the region of basin Arachidea, or peanut or groundnut producing basin. So uh, they name uh, they name that region in terms of that production system. Agropastoral system consists of 67% of the cattle and 62% of small ruminants. This country has around 400,000 hectares of agricultural land under irrigation, mostly along the Senegal River. So even though most of the agropastoral system under rainfed system, we have a substantial amount of agricultural land under irrigation as well in Senegal. If we look the offland system in Senegal, offland system primarily consists of modern improved poultry and swine. This system is managed in contracts with the Western companies. These companies usually provide feed formula, concentrates, chicks, breeding facilities, extension services, veterinary care and marketing ventures for the farms. Around 65% of the national requirement of poultry meat and eggs are produced around the capital of Senegal. So most of the poultry products comes from the offland system in Senegal. Let's have a look at the challenges and potential solution for livestock farming in Senegal. So this presentation is based on a very comprehensive review we have conducted, but for the purpose of this presentation, I have narrowed down to very important challenges the system faces because of the time constraint. Okay. So the major challenge, one of the major challenges, pasture and feed availability, because the supply of pasture and feed determines the stocking capacity of animals, especially in the pastoral system. Biomass production of annual grass in the arid zone of Senegal is very low. It ranges between 700 to 1,300 kilogram trimeter per hectare, and also it's highly variable, right? Especially and temporally, it's highly variable. And also because of the continuous grazing and the inherent soil properties, the nitrogen deficiency and low soil organic carbon content were identified as most limiting factors in West Africa for this production system. The another important challenge is, as we all know, this is common for most of the African countries, which is climate change and variability. So current temperature projection indicates an increase between 1.8 to 4 degrees Celsius by the end of this century in Senegal. And also the increasing rainfall variability often leads to prolonged droughts and floods. So climate change and variability will have direct and indirect effects on the livestock production system. Direct effects of climate change on livestock mainly related to decreasing production performance. But indirect impacts are associated to how climate change and variability affects the feed availability, water availability, and management for livestock. Right. For example, the yield of groundnut, which is one of the important component in the agropastoral system in Senegal, was projected to decrease between 5 to 25% as a result of climate change, based on previous studies. So the events like this will have a significant impact on the feed availability for the farming system in the country. The the third major challenge is, we can say, the socio-economic constraint. Most of the farmers or herders have lack of security in land tenure, is a huge problem for many of them, right? Pastoral communities lack political power and institutional support, regardless of their legal rights to common pool resources such as pasture and water. Um, in a previous research, they found that the top 5 limiting socioeconomic components or factors in West Africa were access to financial resources, availability and capacity of public sector extension, land tenure, availability of private sector providers, and access to mechanization. So these were identified as the major socioeconomic constraints in this region. So if you look what can be done, right? What are the potential solutions for these challenges? If so, I present these potential solutions by going through each of the challenge. If you look, the lack of passion, feed availability. So the potential solutions can be regional monitoring and seasonal availability of pasture composition and quality, and producing real-time pasture availability information, which can be accessible to pastoralists, so um, they can move to those areas to access those resources. An incorporation of harsh climate adapted annual and perennial legumes into the agropastoral system, and improving agriculture productivity by improving the accessibility to fertilizers, quality seeds, and agricultural equipment. So in this way, we can increase the productivity, especially in agropastoral systems. Um, for the challenge of climate change and variability, the potential solutions can be introducing drought-resistant crops such as coffee and cassava, which can be cultivated in degraded soil, strengthening weather monitoring and seasonal climate forecasting to predict drought and floods. So in a way that we can alarm the uh, farmers or herders to protect their animals and their resources, and establishing accessible early warning system for farmers to plan cropping system before onset of rain, and enhancing extension services to disseminate techniques of climate change adaptation and climate smart agricultural practices. That's also very important solution. As potential solution for the socio-economic constraints, we should focus on regulating the extraction of forest resources and expansion of cropping areas, strengthening socio-political and institutional support for all pastoral communities, improving land tenure and equal access to livelihood resources or education for vulnerable groups such as women and children, and opening ventures for income diversification and providing financial support for herders and farmers, especially when they are affected by this climate associated disasters such as droughts. So I would like to also provide some prospects and recommendations uh, for their livestock farming system in Senegal. So as prospects of livestock farming system in Senegal, we can see a growing population and its economy demanding more animal protein, especially in the growing population in the urban and peri-urban areas. And livestock sector will continue to face many constraints. And also substantial development is expected in the urban and peri-urban systems, that is mainly the offland system. Uh, and then mainstreaming climate change adaptation and climate smart agriculture into crop cultivation. This is very important for agropastoral system. So as recommendations for livestock farming in Senegal, improving climate resilience of locally produced millets and forage legumes, better integration of crops and livestock to increase the production and efficient utilization of resources while minimizing greenhouse gas emissions. And it's also recommended that we focus on dual purpose crops, which has both higher biomass for livestock feed and producing higher yield for human consumption, especially the legumes or millets, right? And also it's highly recommended that we enhance the nutritional quality of biomass and grain with increased nutrient densities, particularly micronutrients, right, through breeding programs or improved management of crops. So to conclude my presentation, these are the take-home messages from this presentation. Livestock farming is vital for the economy, food and nutritional security of West Africa and Senegal. This livestock production system is shaped by the demographical, economic, environmental, and socio-political conditions. And also the pastoral system is dominated in the arid and semi-arid zones, while agro-pastoral system in the sub-humid savanna zones. We also can say that the wide dissemination of dual-purpose crops on which the Senegalese agricultural research system is currently working on under the Feed the Future initiatives may come out with better agriculture livestock integration while reducing the transhumance and farmer pastoralist conflicts. I thank for the funding from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID Bureau for Resilience and Food Security, as a part of the Feed the Future Innovation Lab for collaborative research on sustainable intensification. This research also was also funded by the USDA National Institute of Food and Agriculture, Hutch project. I thank for funders and collaborators. Thank you.